Okay, here we are at Calicut Salon in Huntersville, North Carolina with Mary Calicut for a day of minority cluster class. It is October 2009.
Ready?
Okay, Mary.
Hi, we're at Calicut Salon Services in Huntersville, North Carolina, 10 minutes north of Charlotte in the Lake Norman area. We are so excited. We have the fabulous Beth at our class today, and girls and guys from all over the area have come to see Beth do her thing. She's the top colorist in the country, and we're just so happy to be here. It's a beautiful fall day in Charlotte. Wish you were here.
Into a foil, and I'm making a very zigzaggy, crooked base, but a very saturated end. And we're just simply folding the foil left to right, clipping, and then what we're going to do is zigzag. So I'm putting the next foil in crooked, and what I'm going to do is take a small slice, and I'm going to saturate part of the hair that I'm leaving in between with the Minority Pre-Wash Therapy, which makes a glue and also makes the hair feel like $1,000,000. And here I'm using Wella Color Touch to create a low light in this foil. This is 8.0 with a little bit of 7.1 in it, because we're making our model a beautiful blonde on blonde. She's naturally between a 7 and an 8, with a lot of gray hair in the front and not too much in the back. So one more section, nothing is straight on top of it. We zig and zag our way up the head. Crooked foil, straight foil, crooked foil, straight foil. That way we don't get a stripy look. And you'll notice that what we're doing, conditioning the hair in between with pre-wash therapy, and we are saying, well, I've got to get a lot of color on those ends because they would be highlighted brightly in the sun, and I want to put a little less color toward the root because that would get a little less exposure to the sun. So that's what American balayage is all about. I'm just about finished with the back of the head. So this is one of the techniques I'll be showing in Dallas, Texas next week, and up in Providence, Rhode Island in a few weeks, and then back down in Florida where we're teaching a caravan of classes to colorists who want to learn techniques like this. So we're using several Davines shades. This is a level 8 golden copper shade of blonde permanent dye called Mask. And in the other foil with the Davines, we are using the second highlighting shade, which is 11S, which is their high lift level 11 silver based, wonderful blonde that makes the hair feel great and also gives you enough lift. Now this client's naturally pretty pale blonde, so I didn't see any need to use bleach to make her blonde. She hasn't colored this hair in a year and a half, and she reports that the reason she stopped coloring her hair is that her hair started to feel so bad. So we believe that by using color rather than bleach and by reconditioning her with the Minority Pre-Wash, her hair is going to feel like $1,000,000. And she's also going to make a spectacular blonde, and the gray in her hair will be camouflaged by the population of highlights we have moving through her hair. So we have one more foil to place. The pre-wash therapy also acts as a glue, so none of these foils are going to go anywhere. And we're only folding the foil vertically. These are 7 by 14-inch foils that we pleat in the center. We slice the hair off the scalp, but then again, we don't go very, very close to the scalp on all these. Now this is a low light, and I want to cover the gray, so I'm going to low light roots to mids to 2/3 to 3/4. And not every low light needs to go all the way through the ends, because if God gave you deeper pieces in your hair, not everything would be a white stripe or a dark stripe in the hair. And then again, omitting the root and going through the ends, saturating everything. Folding. A little clip. I'm going to go over the top. I'm going to go straight over the top of the head and then wrap up the sides. Going straight over the top gives me more hit to look blonder. I'm just going to weave these. Now I'm going to move to my short foils because I want to go right down. In the back, you don't want to go right down to this top, to the scalp. In the top and the sides, if they don't see it right down there, they're going to say, why aren't I blonde enough?
But in between, you're not going to go all the way down, okay? like in this part of the head, like you're saying on the top, and it, this whole total section that you're gonna do now, the whole front, you go right down?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I might not on every single head. I just choose to here because you've got a lot of gray, and I want her to look brighter and like she's had her hair done. Now I'm going to go foil to foil here, which means I'm leaving nothing in between because I want to cover some of this gray right here with the willow. Color touch. Leave the ends out because I want them to look lighter. Leave the sun piece out. And we'll pre-wash that and stick it back. See, it gets it out of your way too, doesn't it? And when you rinse at the sink, it doesn't muddy the ends because the pre-wash is is protecting the hair. Once you start using this stuff regularly in your retouches, it'll make your work so much better, and the ladies will love taking it home. Women who use it at home say that their hair never felt better. And they use it, like if they wash their hair 3 days a week, they use it twice a month, every other week. This almost becomes your clip. So I weave the hair right off the scalp, as you see. Making sure I saturate everything. It'll be fun to see some warmer pieces of blonde in her hair as well as the cooler, as well as the deeper, so she'll look really pretty shade on shade.
What would you suggest when she comes in?
I have to look at her when she comes in and decide what she needs that day. She might want just the golden blonde. She might like just the pale blonde. You might say she just needs some lowlights because she's really, it depends how she looks the day that she comes. People like want to predict, and I say, now once you know a woman and you kind of know the way her hair fades or doesn't fade and the way you know her hair grows, you can say a lot more. But I always say to her, I don't know your hair yet. After I've done your hair a couple times, you and I'll know each other and I'll know your hair. You know, your women come back from a vacation, they swear, they said, I never went near the sun. Well, she has a black tan. And her hair's all her faded, and she says, I was real careful, I didn't go in the sun.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, right, sure. And she has a white ring on her neck because you know she's been in the sun, but she wants to complain her color faded. So today's appointment is a guideline to next time. And then there are some colors who simply do the same. So that's what I'm in one of my books. I say today's appointment is and formula is a guideline to the next time. And then there are some people who just use the same formula every single time for the woman for the rest of her life. And sometimes those clients stay and sometimes they don't stay. And they'll say, I guess they never thought anything different from me. Maybe they got bored with me. Thanks. Again, using the pre-wash in between. I use very flexible foil, as you see. I use pre-cut foil, which I love. These are the same foils. If you look up in your phone book, candy supply companies, these are the foils they use to make the chocolate Easter egg. Yeah. So some candy supply companies all over just ship them to you cheap.